Hey, how's it going, people? Welcome to the video. Arsenal 2, Wolves 0. Easy. Well, it wasn't easy actually, it was quite shaky, but Arsenal get the job done. They start the season on the right foot, winning 2-0 against a team they should be beating. And to be honest, if you look overall against the games we have played overall against Wolves in general, most of the games are 2-0, 1-2, 1-0 games, except the one we won 5-0, the one that game in the last game of the season 2 years ago. Otherwise, it's been a very close one. And this one actually wasn't that much far ahead as well, because Havertz scored in 25th minute, to be honest, from Saka's assist. Great header, great cross and everything. And it took us 15 minutes to score the second goal. Saka scored from Havertz's assist. Great goal by Saka, brilliant finish, brilliant take on of the defender. But overall, you could see that this is first game of the season. You could see that everyone's a bit slow, a bit lethargic, a bit on a different pace of the game. There were some issues with passing, some issues with finishing, dribbles. People tend to lose the ball in their feet. You could see that game tempo wasn't at its highest. Declan Rice had a massive cramp. You could see that it kind of let him go and then just got him again. You could see on the cameras that he was in quite massive pain. But overall, yeah, the game actually was... First half was pretty dominant by Arsenal, even though Wolves grew into the game very quickly. But we got the job done. We scored a goal in 25th, and we pretty much controlled the whole game. But at the same time, Wolves tried to hold a bit more possession, tried to get us on counters, and the tactics that Gary O'Neill kind of picked for this game were actually spot on. How to shut down the open spaces, shut down the pockets, and whenever we got in certain areas, they instantly triple teamed us, and they pressed us out from those places very rapidly. That was actually a very good plan from him, and it worked to perfection, I'm not gonna lie. Overall, I must admit, it was a bit frustrating at times when to watch certain players. Let's just say Kai Havertz in the first, until he scored that goal, he had a few instances where he could have had a shot, but he tripped over his own feet. He could have passed the ball off, but I guess he didn't see the Martinelli there. Martinelli, he looked very lively in that sense. He tried to attack, he tried to push, he tried to do everything he can. Unfortunately, he didn't score. He didn't have actually that big of a chance to score overall. He had one chance in the first half, but in the end, he didn't result into much anything. It got blocked. Declan Rice had a very average performance, I'm not gonna lie. He did his job, he did great, he crossed the ball, he tried to score from corners, set piece FC, didn't strike this time, of course. He tried to do, but for his standards, let's just be real, he had an average performance. On the other hand, Thomas Partey actually had a very good performance, I'm not gonna lie. Thomas Partey, he looked like he has gotten some pace back into his legs, because the way he ran around the pitch when he lost the ball, how he recovered, he looked much better than he looked in preseason, and of course he looked much better than he looked when the season finished last year. So I guess it's slowly coming back. So him, obviously, Partey always takes a few games to get it going, and it looks like he actually is getting it going in a way as well. Odegaard was very weird one today for me. At certain instances, he was very good. He pressed well and everything. But overall, again, for his standards, he had a very average performance. In the first half, he wasn't the greatest. In the second half, he was better. I'm not gonna lie. He got sent to the shops by Jose Sa, by the way. He just slid in for when he thought Sa is gonna hit the ball long, and Sa just fake shot at him. Odegaard went back to Norway, and Sa just turned around and just played it short. So that wasn't the greatest of the moments. He had a decent long shot. He was trying to control the tempo. He was trying to command the team into the press. But overall, he didn't have the best of the performances. And you could see that, obviously, in the second half, he had a better performance than the first one. But every time we play a team that gets very rough with us, very tough with us, and they try to get us physically, we struggle quite massively. We did struggle that against Everton when we played against Onana. Onana has dominated our midfield every single time we've played against them. And every time we play these teams, we tend to struggle quite a bit. Our defensive line, and in this instance I'm talking about Gabriel and Saliba, looked very shaky, in my opinion. That misplaced passes, lost markers, losing the players they have to cover. And that resulted to Strand Larsen nearly scoring a goal in the first half. Raya made a brilliant save on the counter movement. He was going to the left post. Strand Larsen shot into the right post, and Raya just reached out with his right arm and saved it. That was a brilliant save, and that at the time was to make it 1-1. And if this game was 1-1, it would have been a much tougher game than it was in the end. Obviously, in the second half, we made one sub, as usual, 75th to 70th minute, as Arteta usually does. Zinchenko came off, Timber came on. Timber looked brilliant, I'm not gonna lie. He looked very lively, good tackles. he used some skills. He used some trickery, dropping the shoulder and then running the opposite direction and everything. He looked very good. He looked like he could fit in there very, very nicely. He could actually be a star in that left back spot. We didn't see Calafiori, by the way. We didn't make too many subs, it feels like, actually, because we subbed on Trossard for Saka, and Martinelli went to the right wing, Trossard went to the left wing. Then we took off Declan Rice because cramps started to make him a tough time. And Havertz went to the midfield and Jesus came up on top. And Jesus looked also very lively. And yeah, I must say, it was a decent performance for the first game of the season. You can see that players are very, very rusty still. And they haven't shaken off all the, I would say, the fitness and stamina issues they have from the preseason. Because I assume the training regime was very heavy and very tough. And I assume it was very tough to shake it off for the first game. But it's nice to get some proper game under the books. 2-0 win, easy as you like. Now next game is against Aston Villa at Villa Park, which is not great because Emery pretty much every single time has had our number, except that those times when we hit the bar from Jorginho, it hit the head on the Martinez and went into goal. But last season, it was hella rough for Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie. One of the games when we lost 2-0 was the only game we have lost this year, by the way, in the league. And this was the game that cost us the title. So it's not that great of a thing. Emery always outsmarts Arteta in some instances. Because in the first half last year, we should have won the game. In the second half, he switched the tactics and pretty much nullified us overall. Hit us on counter and Bailey just scored goals and did what he needed to do to get the job over the line. But back to this game, one of the biggest talking points in this game, obviously, is Mosquera. The center back from Wolves who legitimately choked Havertz for about good 4 or 5 seconds. And ref did nothing. Not a yellow, no VAR checks. I think VARs cannot even check. I don't think VARs can check yellows, but the red cards they should be checking. So it's weird that they didn't check that one. And a bit later on, Jesus was doing his boots. Obviously, he was doing in front of the ball, so they cannot use kick the ball long. And Mosquera just came and grabbed Jesus by the ass and threw it to the almost threw him to the ground. Jesus got pissed off and just took Mosquera and just sent him back to Colombia pretty much. And Jesus for that got a yellow card. Obviously, Mosquera shouldn't have been on the pitch, let's be real. He should have gotten a red for choking pretty much Havertz for that good long time, because you could see that was intentional. There was no way. Obviously, Havertz kind of instigated it, and there's no denying that, with grabbing around, trying to push him to the ground. But the way he looked at Havertz, then put his hand and then just slammed it in a way on his neck, and then just held it there for some time, that should be a red card. And I hope that after the game, PJ Moel looks at this and just takes a separate action after the game. Because that is a disgrace and that is a joke. How they are not protecting players that play, basically the players that are making them money pretty much. Because without those players, there would be no revenue for them. They should protect people, and that happens all the time. Many times players get away with pretty much a murder in a way when they don't get a yellow or a red card. And this instance was one of those cases. It's a new year. And it's the same BS already starting in the game week 1. And if this is because I think half an hour before, Fabian Schär got a red card for basically going head-to-head with a Southampton player and just shoving him. Legitimately, just shoving him. He got a red card for that. He didn't even headbutt him like Zidane did in the World Cup. If you remember, you remember. He just shoved him a bit and he fell to the ground like he was pretty much just and like Schär went like that. And yeah, Mosquera didn't get anything. That is one of the most disgusting things I have seen in a very long time in football on the pitch. Very disrespectful and everything. And there has been no repercussions. I hope PJ Moel, the referees, the PFA and FA and whatever they are, all of them, look at this and make some actions. They make some actions. Maybe Arsenal can write the note of appeal and everything. Hopefully they do, to be honest, because that would be a fair point. But overall, back to the game. 2-0 win, 3 points in the books. We got the job done. It is what it is. Arsenal did a good job. 3 points are 3 points. We cannot say it anything. We have got our first win of the season. Now we have to travel to Villa Park next week away. Let's see what's going to happen there, because that game definitely will be much, much harder, and let's hope we are fully prepared. Let's see if we can see maybe Calafiori play in that game, although I think Arteta will risk that. I really hope Timber plays that game, though, because Zinchenko against those wingers will be just left out hung to dry very quickly. Let's just say that. So yeah, Arsenal get the job done. 3 points in the books. Good performance, good result. Very happy with it. Let me know what you think of the game. There were some players who performed below their standards, like Rice, Odegaard. Havertz was a bit frustrating at times, but overall did decent. Gabriel and Saliba had very questionable performances with the misplaced passes, losing the players they have to mark and making some errors. But obviously, it's the first game of the season. You kind of can feel that it's still some summer type football when it's not full focus there. But at the same time, if we have made the same mistakes against a bigger team like Liverpool and City, even Aston Villa to some extent, those balls may actually be we could found in back of our nets and we would have lost the game. So it is what it is. But 3 points in the books. Let me know what you thought about the game. Take care, stay safe, enjoy your evening. Football is back. We love it, of course, and see you all tomorrow in another stream. Peace.